Welcome to After Dark at the Fix Stops Roundtable, featuring Katrina Ness, Vanessa Collins, and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings, Vanessa Collins, and Katrina Ness.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday, and welcome back to the Fix Stops Roundtable's After Dark show. Tonight is a really exciting episode because we will be announcing some of our Best Practice Award winners. Please welcome Victoria Quaranta from Gerald Auto Group. We have Rene Breslin from Ciocca Automotive, and of course, Scott Davis from Volley. So welcome and super excited for tonight.
Hey guys.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Congratulations. Yeah, Victoria, welcome. Vicky and Rene. Vicky and Rene, first time on the roundtable last week. Great job to all of you. Trevor Shannon, good to see you in the chat. Tully Williams, yes, home with the next pop-up. Roger Conan in Houston coming in now. And exciting, this last event, Katrina. And what a whirlwind week, Katrina, with everything that was going on.
I know, event after event. It was so great. The Fix Stops Roundtables Route 66 road trip turned out amazing. It all came together so well. We're still, rocking with the backgrounds and the theme for the best practice winners. So you can see that here. And then the in-person event in New Orleans, we had a wonderful time there connecting with everyone in person. We saw Scott Davis and did an interview with Volley, Tully, Trevor. We saw so many great people. So just chaotic, amazing week.
Scott, how do you do it? You keep coming up with these panels, and it seems that you always have the winners of the Best Practice Award on your panels.
Well, it's not very hard. We have great customers, and I'm not just saying that. I feel like Volley has great software, but it takes people to use good software, and we've got the best. These are two of them.
Yeah, very much so. And Rene and Vicky, for those who may not have caught the panel, what were some of the things that we discussed on there? I know there were things about outbound calls, but do you recall what were some of the things that were mentioned? Because it did very well with the viewers. Rene, if you want to just add a little bit on that.
Yeah, we talked about, what type of outbound campaigns work the best, or what convert the best, with our customers. We talked about, working with our service managers and to, create the campaign cadences, and talked about, how we put our campaigns in different priorities. It's important to touch on different types of campaigns to help fill our service drive. Some campaigns, certain recalls might be more important to get in sooner. So different things like that.
And Rene, what do you do at the dealership, if I could ask?
Yeah, so I am our Eastern Division Corporate BDC Director for Sales and Service, over 27 stores.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah,
and Vicky, anything you'd like to add about that? And tell us a little bit about what you do at Gerald Auto Group as well.
So I am the director of the Service Business Development Center with the Gerald Auto Group. I support 14 locations, and Rene is right. Those are all some of the fabulous things we covered. We also talked about our strategies and how much Volley makes such a difference in all of that. Truly, Volley has been a game changer for us. It has really stepped up our service BDC and has helped us produce far beyond our wildest expectations. I also covered how our outbound efforts are a big percentage of our total overall appointments that we create.
Wow.
Scott, it seems that Volley has a particular focus on outbound, which is a challenge for many dealerships around the country to do those outbound.
Well, they do inbound and outbound together. The problem is if you just have desk phones, then you've got to wait around for the phone to ring if you want to get the phones answered. So how do you keep people busy? The most expensive part of your BDC is the agent. So, it's very important that you keep them busy 40, 50 minutes an hour. It's really easy to lose track of the time. So, we help them focus on outbound. We want to make sure they measure inbound so they can keep their promises to their customers. So one of the themes, by the way, Ted, just to kind of hijack this little part, but a lot of people, NATO was very sparsely attended because of the weather. But geez, we saw a ton of traffic, and it was a lot of people wanting to build up their service departments. And they had a little bit of a rough fourth quarter on the front end. These two gals are way ahead of the curve on that. So it was great.
Congratulations to both of you. Vicki, how many agents, if I can ask, at Gerald Automotive Group?
Sure. I have 3 locations, agents in 3 locations, and today we have 16.
Wow. Okay. Very good.
Wow.
And Rene, I dare ask you the same question.
So we have 38 service BDC agents and 48 sales BDC agents.
Wow.
Wow.
And, this gentleman here, Tully Williams, Scott, he just recently came into the Volley fold, I think within the last year. Tell us about the Nilo company, because we're going out to see him.
Yeah. Tully and I had dinner Friday night. We had a great time there. They've done a great job of starting from scratch. Maybe the most successful launch of a service BDC for someone who started with nothing. Both, a lot of our best customers are people like Vicki and Rene, who actually had good systems in place and were doing the job just without technology. Nilo, they literally had nothing, and they started from scratch, and they're putting up incredible numbers.
So Nilo company, everybody, for those who don't know, is a organization in Sacramento, California, with 10 luxury dealerships. Big part of the Fixed Ops Roundtable. That gentleman, Tully Williams, won the very first Best Practice Award in September of 2019 here at the Roundtable. And at every event since, we've had 5+ winners. There are a few more winners who are not here with us tonight that we will be in person with at the Nilo company on March 12th. I know, Scott, you will be there, and we're going to do an upgrade on the Best Practice Award. So ladies, you'll be getting the newest version to help honor our dear colleague, Sean Butler. Sean Butler was a fixed ops director in the Southeast for many, many years, big part of the Roundtable, had a very long fight with cancer. We were here and we supported him the whole way. He didn't make it. We renamed the award in his honor, and that reintroduced award will be coming out now, and on March 12th we're going to introduce that to the world. So you'll have among the very first ones from that. And Sarah Van Tyne in the chat, thank you for all you do for the industry as well. And I see Tony Owens and Brooke Engelhardt are in there, and Sean Kingery, and oh, very good, Sean. You're going to be there. Okay, you're going to attend. I like that a lot. And everybody, if you have not seen the Route 66 event, it is now on YouTube. Okay, so you're welcome to go there. And the entire event, we uploaded it over the weekend, and it's in 8 different pieces. It's on YouTube. Just go to YouTube. You could subscribe. You could see the whole thing there. And I think, Rene, you reached out to me on that one as well. I said, oh, yes, part 5. Okay. So I knew where the Volley panel was. So a lot of fun with that. But it seems a lot of focus, Vanessa, is on fixed ops. What did you see at the show? This was your second NADA, right, Vanessa?
Yeah, so this was my second NADA, Katrina's third. It was super exciting, spending from, the second the show floor opened to, once it ended, running around the convention floor to the different booths and conducting those interviews. We did an interview with Scott Davis, of course, from Volley, and we learned a lot of great things. AI was definitely very prevalent in a lot of our conversations, which was to be expected. And then also one of our favorite questions to ask was, what do you see on the horizon for 2025? Because, it's a new year, it's January. And so it was really exciting to see what these different individuals saw for themselves and their career and their company as well.
And Vanessa, who are these people with you in the photo? It looks like at NADA.
Yeah. So we got Mark Mickens, which he is just like burst of energy. We love him. And then, of course, Sean Kingery and Ron Overs, who was so incredibly helpful throughout the entire weekend, helping us, get to the right booth at the right time and introducing us to all the people that he knew there. It truly seemed like he knew everybody. I remember we were getting lunch for a quick lunch break, and I was trying to find a seat, and all the seats at the cafeteria were full, and he was like, "Oh, let me help you." Ron always finds a spot. And immediately he finds a table with a couple people that he knows, and we just go and sit with them and make more connections. Here is us at the BL Innovair booth, and that was a super incredible interview as well. It was actually our very last interview of the weekend. So,
and that's Max, right? Vanessa?
Yes, Max, he conducted the interviews the entire time, and he did a great job. He, did a lot of B-roll of the different booths, and then, of course, the standing camera as the audience, and then he had his little side cameras to cut to different angles, and he was so great at, explaining how this will work to our different, individuals that we were conducting interviews with, and he was just great the entire weekend. We love our guys at Hard Copy Media. Colton was there as well, and he was working, doing a lot of stuff with dealer pay.
Katrina, I saw the pictures all weekend. Look, you both of you were very busy, and you're here with Ness, the founder of My Karma, who needs some platform shoes, I'm told.
Yeah, didn't expect us to be as tall as we are in person.
Yeah, it was a great event overall. Like I said, Vanessa and I loved reconnecting with many people in person that we knew and just various familiar faces. Lots of panels, a lot to get in, and we had fun doing it.
Did you guys have any problem getting there? Because I know a lot of people were hung up with canceled flights, and I know LG drove from Atlanta, and I heard all kinds of stories.
We didn't. Our flight was one of the first to land in New Orleans after the airport was closed for a long period of time on that day. So we were very lucky to get in. We had like a 10-minute layover in Houston, and we hopped on the plane and we were off and we landed well. Our administration from our school had to take a bus all the way down because all their flights got canceled. They hit a deer on the way, just crazy stories. I know people just hopped around, and I think a good point that was made that I heard a lot is the dealers that came were the ones that wanted to be there and the ones that were most engaged. So although a lot of the vendors noticed that there wasn't as much traffic as previous years, the people that were engaged and wanted to be there and ready to learn more and maybe grab a new product for their store, those were the ones that were there. So looking on the bright side,
they drove from Michigan, going back to what you said, Michigan.
Yes. Yeah. So our administration drove down through the night from Michigan. They didn't stop at all for rest or anything, just gas, in a van that they rented from Enterprise or a different company, I believe. But crazy.
Scott, you drove as well. You drove a long way.
Yeah, we turned 5-hour drive on the second day into a 10-hour drive. And
Wow.
At least it's something to talk about. It was fun.
Yeah.
The bigger problem is New Orleans. Every Uber driver I spoke with, they were like, "Yeah, we've not seen snow, or I've never seen snow." A lot of these pups that were driving us around, they had to bring in snow plows. And for all you folks who don't live in the Midwest or where it snows, you tend to have tons of potholes because of snow plows. The road expands and contracts, and the snow plows pick up and create potholes. Well, there was a huge pothole, and that was created by a snow plow, no doubt. And one of our workers, Joanne, popped 2 tires driving into town. So big adventure.
Scott, they don't have snow plows in New Orleans, do they?
Oh, they brought them in because of the snow to clear for the airports and the major roads. Yeah.
That sounds like an adventure. Wow. Yeah, there were a lot of stories. In fact, so Fixed Ops Roundtable, we have a 4-day event that these folks were on. Everybody was on here last week, Monday through Thursday. And it seemed that we got extremely busy on Wednesday. Like the numbers started going way up. Okay, because people couldn't get to New Orleans. I think it had something to do with that. The busiest day of the show, Scott, was the fourth day. I mean, we were packed on the fourth day. I never saw so many people in there on the last day. Don't ever repeat it because Sean will hold me to it. But I was almost wishing we did a
day 5.
Oh, 5-day event.
But I attribute that to the fact that a lot of people couldn't get there, and they came to us, and so we had a lot of fun with that, and it went really well, and we got to announce our next event that's coming up, and but just a whole lot of automotive interest going on. And Vicky, the phones, it seems there's never been more interest in the phones, Vicky, than there is right now among the fixed ops community at large all around the country.
Yes, our phones have been on fire. The busiest December we've seen, and January too. It's just been very, very, very busy.
Well, anybody notice any particular technology when you were out at NAJ or something that, all right, here he is. Anybody notice anything that really got your attention that was noteworthy out there while you were there? Because you got all these innovations, and I imagine some of the booths were not quite as busy as the others, right? So,
I didn't see much new. I saw a lot of new AI products added to other products. Of course, we rolled out our AI call intelligence feature, which you guys will hear about this next week, Rene and Vicky. But we rolled that out. I think a lot of people are using it to enhance their products a bit. I didn't see a lot new. I don't know about what you guys thought, but of course, it was hard to tell with the traffic. I don't think many people made it down to the new vendors at the end. I hope they got something out of it, but I didn't see a lot new.
That's true. Katrina, a lot of talk about AI throughout even our virtual event. A lot of AI. That seemed to be the buzzword. And I know Ron Rovers talked about that as well.
Yeah, definitely. We see AI expanding all throughout the industry as a tool for our dealerships to use rather than, taking and replacing. So I think it is a great tool, and I think it's beneficial that a lot of companies are utilizing it in their own unique way as well. So definitely something that was very prominent at NADA. And when we did a lot of our interviews, like Vanessa mentioned, a lot of different companies kind of talked about their expansion into the AI world.
Yeah. And something cool that we saw was from Capital One Bank. And he was showing us, a new product called Pulse, which is essentially a card that you can tap to the customer's phone, and it pulls up personalized through, the individual within, the dealership that tapped it to the customer's phone. It turns the customer's phone essentially into right there. You have it, into like a computer. And so they can see, what needs to be done to their vehicle, I think pricing, and then also if it's too much or they're wanting to, switch over to a new car, and he said it, turns it into the service side into like a proactive sales machine.
Vanessa and Katrina, we have cards coming for you. Okay. They're being shipped to Northwood. It's called the Muse card. Okay?
Yes, the Muse card.
Sarah has one. Tully has one. Ed Roberts has one. Sean, could you, in the chat, confirm if you received yours, but we're all going to be using these Muse cards because it does a lot of things. Plus, it's your electronic business card as well. And so we introduced that at the Roundtable last Monday. Okay, so you're right. That was a big game changer.
Yes, my
definitely. It was a big game changer. And one of the things I liked about it is you could also link it to different online social medias. So it wasn't only, in the space of reality when you ran into someone at church or at the grocery store, but it was also online when you ran into someone's profile. So I think that was really cool to include both of those like communities and universes we have as a society. Another cool product we saw was a tab that goes on your sunshade that you can tap into your phone, and it tells you all the services and service scheduling in advance. So we ran into a booth that stopped us and kind of talked about that for a second. But a lot of different things, a lot of technologies and software related things. And then, like Vanessa mentioned, some different products too.
Trevor Shannon, who's in this chat right now from Dynatron. So, Trevor, some news for you. I haven't told Maureen yet, but Maureen Martin also won a Best Practice Award from Dynatron. And Maureen will be with us with Tully on March 12th at that pop-up there as well. Also, Dennis McGinn from Rapid Recon, who will be there, was a Best Practice Award winner. And there were a few others as well. But, definitely a lot of voting and a lot of activity on that best practice. So it was really good to see, and really good to see that a lot of people were in tune with the event too, Shannon, Trevor. So we like that very much. And Vanessa, we're going to do a lot of things with that Capital One card. We got some stuff in motion right now. That took Scott, this Capital One deal. This took like 9 months, okay, to put this together. And they really vetted the Fixed Ops Roundtable hard, okay? And all the campaigns and things we have coming, had to be approved well in advance before we do them. So a lot of fun with that. So some new things. So, and some new things for service on this Capital One card as well. We do have an event coming up. It's going to be in May. And Katrina, I don't know if you want to tell us a little bit about that, but it's going to be our next virtual event. I think it's going to be our 28th event, right?
Yep, 28th.
Yeah, Vanessa and I were talking with Ted about themes, and we were like, we should do a space theme. We saw a video called All Systems Go at Bozard Ford Lincoln when we went down there. And I think that's when it kind of clicked for me, like this would be a really cool event theme. So I brought it up to Ted. And I think overall it'll definitely turn out well. Like Ted said, it's coming up soon. So May 12th through the 15th, 2025. That is Vanessa and I's last week of school at Northwood. So hitting right around the start of summer. So that's something to look forward to. You can get your tickets, although it is soon. It is never too early. But you can get those complimentary tickets at fixedopsroundtable.com, and it will be another great event.
That event is already filling up. And then shortly after that, Vanessa, you've got an event going on with the full tank camp at Northwood. I don't know how much you can tell us about that.
Yeah, so it is going to be June 15th through the 20th. I'm doing the marketing work for the Full Tank Auto Camp, and it's essentially a camp for students 8th grade through just graduated high school to, come live on campus for a little less than a week and learn the ins and outs of the automotive industry. So it'll be super exciting. And yeah, it's over the summer. I'll still be here at Northwood because my master's degree goes until end of July. So I was like, why not just, do a last commitment at Northwood University during my time here and do the marketing for that. It's marketing and automotive, and it's just kind of the perfect mesh. And it's a great event that we have going, and it's fairly new. So we are definitely going to do another pop-up event there, just like we did this past summer, and some other exciting things as well.
So Scott, Northwood has this full tank camp, and the event is typically June or so, Vanessa, right?
Yep, it's in June. Yep.
Okay. And it's for high school students. It's sponsored by General Motors, and it's like a 1 week long, sleep on campus life. And by the way, there was a big golf tournament, Scott, going on when we were up there. So there were a lot of us from the Roundtable who came up there, and there were no rooms at the hotels. So they put us up in the dorms. And that was interesting. So, but that was a lot of fun, going back. We literally went back to school for that. But this camp is for high school students, Rene and Victoria, who are thinking about where to go to college. And that was quite the event. And that really set us up for what happened in the fall with Northwood. And we had a lot of folks there. This is LG Bright on the left. Katrina, what's Professor Bright's, what's his official capacity there at Northwood?
LG is the automotive department head chair of our school. So he kind of oversees, and he also teaches many of our auto classes for our degree that we have here. And then right next to him is our president, Ken McDonald. So he was also there this summer along with LG, and we had them in our pop-up event.
Yep. So we had a great time out there in June. We're going to do that again this year at Northwood University. It's America's automotive university, if you don't already know. And then we're going back in September because, Katrina, you are going to be in charge of the auto show. Tell us about that. And we're going to have another pop-up event there as well.
Definitely. So every fall, Northwood has a 100% student-run auto show where we display new vehicles and also various different other vehicles, like in our specialty lot, and then we also have an aftermarket lot where we can show different automotive aftermarket brands and display parts and different equipment that different shops can use. So Vanessa and I met Ted at our auto show 2 years ago, and so it is now a tradition that the Fixed Ops Roundtable comes every year starting 2 years ago. So we'll be looking forward to that.
And Vicky and Rene, this picture here is taken from the Women's Roundtable at Northwood University, which will happen this year again in September. And as you can see, these are all female students, ladies, at each table is a lady from the automotive industry. Here's Kathy Gilbert with CDK. And at every table, it was sort of like speed dating, right? Katrina, I think they spent like 7 or 8 minutes and they met somebody different from the automotive world. Sarah was on here as well. And Katrina, I was very impressed with this event as being part of that as well.
Definitely. It's a great event that we have at Northwood when so many industry executives are on campus, and then in general women. So having, a place where younger students and just female students or male students in general at our university can go and see aspiring leaders is always amazing. So that's a great event that we've been doing for multiple years now and will again have in the fall. So super excited for that.
That's great.
A lot going on, right? And it's important, Scott and Rene and Vicky, we realized a while back to have this pipeline of passionate young people getting into the automotive industry, as a career, right? Who are serious about it and who understand automotive, which clearly Katrina and Vanessa do from their studies. Katrina took a fixed operations class. Is it your freshman year, right, Katrina? You had that?
It was my first semester sophomore year.
Okay.
So still pretty early on, but super unique and super cool.
Yeah. So not too many places can have that. So
yeah. And also seeing inspiring women throughout the industry at NADA was wonderful as well. And then obviously you both, Victoria and Rene, running large BDCs with 14 and then 20 plus dealerships under your guys' belt is amazing and must be a challenge every day. So I wanted to ask, what is the benefit of having a powerful BDC to the dealership?
I mean, we're driving so much business to the sales department and the service departments. So it's important to make sure that, we're providing everything that we possibly can to our BDCs to make them successful. So that way we can make sure that our stores are successful. Without, it starts at the BDC, right? We probably do in sales, 60% of our business is coming from the BDC, and probably 80% of our business is coming from the BDC in service, right? We don't get that much walk-in traffic from in service. So I would say it's pretty important to have a strong BDC on both sales and service.
And for retention as well, just making sure that we retain the guests that we have, keep them coming in.
Yes. So do you guys, retain a strong point of contact of your customers, like you said, to keep them in the door and keep them coming back to buy cars or to service their vehicle as well?
Absolutely. We focus on our retention. We watch those numbers very closely. And we have a lot of unique campaigns to help keep that going.
Awesome.
Love it.
Same.
You got to keep that pipeline open, right, as well. That's the whole lifeblood of the dealership, right? The customers and the communication. And Scott,
Absolutely.
it's what you do best at Volley as well.
It is. Volley helps us maintain our retention every single day.
Well, service is a guaranteed transaction. Everyone's heard me say that. It's just not necessarily with the dealership. And we can see there's a huge lift on the database. One of the things for anyone listening tonight that I just really want to stress that because a lot of dealers and a lot of people over the weekend, they wanted to focus on the people who haven't been in for 18 months. But you first need to start with the people who are due, because they're not thinking of you as much as you're thinking of them. And if they're a month late, that is a huge revenue leak for you over a long enough period of time. Or if they go somewhere else just because they got the right coupon when they were due for service, you got to stay in front of them.
Love it. So, Scott, thank you for all you do for our industry at Valley. We appreciate you greatly and look forward to seeing you in person very soon in March. And Vicki, congratulations. And Rene, congratulations. We will send you a proof of the award from Allison Landis for you to approve before we go ahead and produce it. So we'll need your okay on that, any changes, and then we should be good to go. So Katrina and Vanessa, thank you. And thank you for going to NHA this weekend and walking. I heard you walk like 10 miles each day, Katrina. That's true.
I looked at my steps. I didn't look at the miles yet, but it was definitely more than my average. But there is nothing wrong with that, except my feet do hurt.
My feet will be recovering for the next few days, but
it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It is. Yeah.
Everybody, Wednesday night, we're going to have Dave Perry and Ashley Norton here from Blink AI. And we're also going to have Jim Sabino and Sean Kinger going to be here Wednesday night, too. So that should be a lot of fun. Yeah, 8 o'clock. So look forward to that. So everybody, thank you so much for being with us tonight. And we'll see you all on Wednesday night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, guys.